What's up, First Baptist? Hope you're doing well. Got a couple of quick things for you. First of all, we as a church want to be investing in the future of the church, and even particularly in future leaders in the church. And so one of the things that I've thought about for a long time, both back at Redemption and now here at First Baptist, is the idea of internships. And so we're excited to bring on Patrick Welgus as an intern. And so Patrick, you might remember him from a few weeks ago. He was baptized here. He became a member here, and he is majoring in Bible theology at Biola. And so he's preparing for a life of ministry, given full time to ministry. And so we want to encourage him in that. And so this internship is primarily about learning. And so I'm throwing him assignments and things to read and things to observe and watch. And then we're asking him to do some things and get some experience in just serving in some ways. So you'll see him around. He may even ask you some questions about what it's like to be a church member. We're encouraging him to just find every way he can to learn and to serve within the church. So I'm thrilled with getting a chance to be a part of this and getting a chance to invest in Patrick. And really, this is all of us. As a church, we're wanting to invest in Patrick for the future. So I'm grateful for that, excited for Patrick, and really enjoying getting to know him and looking forward to working with him more. But so thanks, Patrick. And then the second thing, I wanted to follow up from Sunday's sermon. The big point of Sunday was that Christ is alive, risen, and he is at work. He's moving in our world. And as we talked about that idea, in Acts, the real focus there was that he's working in our world to save people, to build his kingdom, to build the church, right? And we were thinking mainly about the spread and advance of the gospel. But there's a whole area of application that I didn't address, and I think we need to be challenged sometimes to believe. And that is, do I believe that Christ is alive and well and working in me? That he's able and active to work in me, to change me. See, sometimes we can get cynical about whether we can change or whether Christ can do his work in us. We can grow hopeless about sins that we've been battling for a long time. We can just become very stagnant and feel like he's never working in us. And to remember again that Christ is risen. He's alive. What does that mean for me? It means that he's working in me with incredible power. He can change me. You're not hopeless. Not where Christ is involved, right? He has incredible power to change you and grow you. He does. Think about a couple of verses. One that might have come to mind already, Philippians 1:6, where it says, "He who began a good work in you will be faithful to carry it on to completion." He began this work. He's carrying it on, right? And then in Ephesians, there's a couple verses. Chapter 1, where Paul is just praying that they would know the power of Christ. And then he describes it as the power that God used when he raised Christ from the dead. That same power, he says in chapter 1, is towards us who believe. It's directed towards us. It's brought to bear on us to change us, to grow us, to use us in his kingdom. And then chapter 3, verse 20 of Ephesians, Paul writes, "Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all we ask or think, according to the power at work within us." His power is at work in us. And so think about what that means. If Christ is risen and exalted, he's still working today, part of what that means is that he's working in you. And he is fully able to do his work in you. And the call, I think, is for us to watch for that, to look for that, to pray for that with a sense of expectancy. And even to join Christ in that as he does that work in us, for us to join him in seeking that change, that growth that he wants to do, that transformation. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that gives hope for us when we feel like we're just stuck, when we feel like it's impossible to grow, or we're trying to kill sin, but it seems like we can't, and we come along and remember, no, Christ is risen. He's alive and he's well and he's working in his world to advance his mission. And part of that means he's working in us. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.